Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Friday the 13th review collection on Drizzleland. So, what we're going to be talking about in the first part of this review is the progression of the series. Where do you guys think that the series is going to go from here? Are we going to see a new movie? Or are we just going to kind of keep dwindling around until somebody makes up their mind? Now, I have to be honest, I think the earlier movies are fantastic. Um, I mean, Kevin Bacon is even in one of those movies. Um, I feel like what really needs to happen with the series is we need to start all over and kind of tell the story from the beginning in the way that it really should have been done. And I feel like what they need to do is kind of reinvent Jason. Kind of talk about more in detail about him being picked on by the kids at the camp and things like that. I don't think that they've really gone into detail with that. Now, I know that there's audio versions on the internet right now, I believe on YouTube, where you can actually look up a certain movie and there's an audio version of it as well for an audiobook, which is very neat. They're very, very awesome. Very interested in actually kind of listening, checking one of those out. So, now, the first movie, I thought was solid. I thought it was one of the best horror movies of all time because it really went into detail with the background story of the camp. Yes, it was an older movie, but I feel like it was ahead of its time. The second one, again, I mean, I feel like it's one of those action-packed movies. I thought the plot was really good in that too. And I feel like part 2 and part 3 are really when Jason kind of started, coming, around more so that you kind of know who he is and know that he's kind of behind, the killings and things. But again, I think that the progression of part 3, we had some good moments in it. Definitely some comedy as well in it, I would say. Including the biker, who was also in Fright Night, I found out later on as well. Let's talk about part 4. Boy, I think that part 4 was good in its own rights. There was some good scenes in it. But when we went on later on in the series to part, 5 and 6, for example, I felt like we didn't necessarily get as much action with it, I guess, is what we should have. I know that some people are going to disagree with this, but I think part 6 was really good, actually. I know that it was kind of cheesy. Some people thought that some of the gore in it was kind of cheesy. But I think that some of the stuff at the camp and things like that was actually pretty entertaining. The 7th one, I think, is okay. Again, it's kind of reinventing Jason for a new generation, and that's good that they were doing that. But I felt like the plot could have been much better. And now Jason Takes Manhattan, boy, I mean, what could I really say about that? I'll say it's an interesting plot. And they meant well, but I think they could have done a little bit better as far as, the action scenes and things like that. But if you're a fan of the series, I mean, honestly, all these movies are not really too terrible. It's just as time went on, they had to like calm down like some of the action and gore and stuff in it. Um, so I think, and as we went on, obviously to like some of the other movies like Jason X. Jason X I actually thought was pretty decent. It was definitely interesting. The plot was. And there were some really funny things in the movie that you wouldn't really predict to happen like in a Jason movie. Freddy vs. Jason, honestly, I thought was really good, because it went more in detail with mixing the two characters into one movie, and I thought that some of the actors that were in it, I mean, I knew that they were, first timers, but I felt like the plot was pretty decent for it. Now, the 2000 and, I think it was 2000 and, was it 7? Maybe was the last one? I think so. I didn't think it was too bad. I thought it was decent. I feel that they tried as much as they could to calm down the violence in it, but I mean, obviously it's a Friday the 13th, so you have to have some gore in it. So what's your guys' opinion on the Friday the 13th series? Do you guys like it? Do you guys not like it? Have you guys seen any of the movies? Should they make another one? Me personally, I would like to see a new one. I think that it's well deserved. And there is a violent, I guess people are kind of protesting this game, but apparently there's a Friday the 13th PC game, and I think it's for Xbox One as well. And there's some other type of game, I believe, too, that has like Jason in it. Oh yeah, it's a Mortal Kombat game, I believe. And then you can also be Freddy Krueger, I think, in that game too. So yeah, what do you guys think? Do you think that they should make a new one? Give me your comments below and your advice, and let's hear from some people.